Welcome to Feel Good Talk, where our focus is on mind, body, soul, and business. You are now tuning into Let's Talk About It with Izzy Meditates. Hello, hello, hello out there. Feel Good Talk family, I miss you. It's been some time. We're coming up with new guests, and today I have a special guest. We vibe like no other, and I am super excited to once again have him in my space. Mr. Business, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of our space today.
You're quite welcome. I thank you for the invite for the second time. I
I
appreciate it.
love it. I love it. We have so much that we want to cover here today. If you are on the live, tap in, say hello, let us know that you're out there. And Mr. Biz, I'm going to jump right in. I have so many things that I want to cover, but I just want to kind of flow with ease. First off, I'd like to talk about your new meditation music that you have out in your tunes. I am loving those. I've been using those in my meditation and
Mm.
also on some ads and things like that. How did you
Okay.
get started with this journey into music?
Well, I've been blessed to have some good friends around me that have blessed me with this piano, with this keyboard. That I told them one day, like, I like creating films, but I can't. I'm having problems or issues finding the right music for my films.
Yeah.
So I always said when I was younger, if you put me in front of a keyboard or a piano, I know how to play just off from this ear. So I took the time and just start practicing, and it became self-taught. So through time, it's just been a journey of just finding another way to express. When certain things were happening, certain things were going on, I found a way to express through music. And if you listen to any of my music, it tells a story in itself.
Right.
It's not anything repetitive. It's a vibe, and it's more like therapy. Just as me like riding a bike or going to play basketball or going to go work out. This is just another form of it. So I was like,
Right.
you know what, just start sharing it with the world because you never know how other people are affected by your creation. So just give it a try.
Yeah, yeah. And it's beautiful. I know that you're in that space because I'm sure you get people that say, where have you been? Have you come up with a new album, new song, something new to play?" But like you said, in that space, you kind of move and flow, and it just goes that way. You don't, it's not like every day. It's kind of like when I crochet. Sometimes I have to have a feel or a certain vibe to actually to make a sweater or to think of someone and make it. So I love that. Um, what type of music are you gearing towards, or are you going to work towards meditation only music, or chill music, or lo-fi?
You know, honestly, this music is, I just allow the music to take me wherever it flows.
Right.
Because to me, it wasn't just under just meditation music. It just, for me, it can be, it's like my friend Ray told me, he said your music is like classical trap. It shows your expression of who you are. But it's just a certain vibe where you can meditate to it, but at the same time, it has like that Chester edge to it,
Right.
like that dark feel, because it just shows my personality is a very kind, gentle person, but there's also other side of me that's like, hey, I'm also here too. It's like a yin and a yang.
Right.
So I found a way to mix the two into one video. I mean, to one genre. I
Right.
haven't heard anybody that makes music like this besides my cousin Sadell. I kind of grew up watching him play, and it's the way he played trained my ear a bit different, and it's just a certain feel that it touches the soul. So it's like I make it in a way where you don't want to skip it because it switches up so much that it's like, hey, you just engage with it, just like the videos. It's an
Right.
emotional roller coaster. So is the music.
Right. And your voice. Your voice is
Like,
absolutely amazing. I'm sure you hear that all the time. I've done couple meditations that you put out there, and it's just soothing, and it has this ease about it whenever you hear it. Um,
thank you. I appreciate it.
I want you to tell everyone how you began this journey, because I know you were doing bike life before for a long time, and that was awesome as well. I feel like you've brought that community together, and we've talked about that in the past, but now you're on a new journey.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you began. this journey?
Well, the bikes are still there. I'm
Yeah,
still connected with those people. They still family.
right,
But I realized through time that there are other sides of me that I've kind of neglected because I've allowed bikes to kind of take over that space. And it had to be to a certain point where I had to give my other sides. I had to give Kareem a chance.
right,
'Cause I've been giving Mr. Business a Mr. Business has been in this box inadvertently of just creating bike vids. But it's like you forgot that you have other sides such as music vids, you have weddings, you have commercials. You also have a side here making music that you're neglecting, you're not giving it a try because of whatever society thinks of you. That's what you're trying to feed. It's like at some point, when are you going to feed the things that you truly love and forget what the world thinks or what the world feels? You have to feed a different side to grow and evolve in a different way. So at some point, I say, you know what, I'm gonna get this to try, and I'm doing it for me. It's not for anybody else. It's literally whatever I create is because I genuinely like it. Also, one of my main reasons of taking this route of doing different things, my son, he listened to Apple music all the time, and I was hearing the music that he was listening to, and I was like, you know what, that's not really sitting right with me too well,
right,
and I had to put myself in his shoes. Like when I was his age, I wanted to listen to what I wanted to listen to. I didn't want to have nobody telling me, "Oh, don't listen to that. That's not good for you."
right,
So I said, you know what? I'm just going to make some music for him to listen to. That's simple. So I'm not telling you what to do. At the same time, I also setting some boundaries. Like if it's cussing and stuff, it's music. I don't want him to listen to it. But if I make a lot of music where he can tune into it and just vibe, then I'm going to do that. So he
right,
was a driving force for that, and he can listen to it and like, "All right, my dad made this. This is a vibe. It made me feel good," or he
right.
can be connected with me through my music. So that's one good reason.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's so many different genres, and I don't think people realize that music carries a vibration. Um,
It
and so,
does.
whatever words and songs that you put out there, if you're singing along with it, next thing you know, you're kind of feeling that way. So it's good to help your soul along by promoting music that's calm and peaceful and things that make you look inward. So I love that about your music.
Thank you. I thank
We
you.
have some comments. Let me go to the comments. They're just zooming up here really fast.
Uh, Music is somebody commented music is the key to the soul, and
Yeah,
that
it
is
is.
the honest truth.
We got Charles Brakely in the house. He says, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, Charles. William Bird. Hello, FGT family. Says, "Good evening, great people and FGT family. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to please like, love, and share the Feel Good Talk page. We are on YouTube as well as Facebook, also IG. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Good Talk." William Bird says, "Good evening, great people." Oh,
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good talk. Great feel. Thank you. Thank you. We got a new vibe going on here. That's what it is, bro. Taking care of yourself. It's important to do that. Music is the key to the soul. It is, and it's about finding your path. And like Kareem said, you're gonna do what you want to do for yourself. Sometimes we grow up and we're doing what our parents told us to do, or family, friends, professors, and we're following that path. Even I've gone down that path. I'm like, I need to do social work. That's what I started out wanting to
Mm,
do. And I worked for a tech company, and I was like, I got to be this boss babe. I got to work for a CEO. I got to make a lot of money, move to Virginia, do all that. And one day, everything just fell apart so everything could fall in place.
mm.
And now I'm right where I need to be, and I love it. Money is awesome as well, but it comes and it goes. But what I get to do is the same thing that Kareem gets to do, and I get to touch people's hearts through what I do by offering meditation and so forth. And he offers this music and this space where people can come and enjoy it. And I'm just loving seeing you in this space. I'm like scrolling down your page.
Um, I made a track earlier today, and I'm gonna finish it when I get off the live here. Probably gonna. I have one being uploaded right now to iTunes. It has like 5 or 6 tracks,
Yeah,
and when I'm in a tough space of, like lately, it's been like the dreams I've been having have been really. I've been waking up like not knowing what to fully do or not knowing how to fully interpret them. or if I get in the space of not knowing how to fully create my videos
Yeah.
or whatever I'm doing, I feel stuck. It's like, you know what, just go make some music and help push you through.
Yeah.
And 'cause there's a lot of projects I'm working on. Is one I'm working on with somebody from Chester. She has a talk coming up, Let's Talk conference, and which is more just getting people to open up mentally about what's going on. Let's a woman's talk. Um, Other projects I'm working on. I have a series working on called Will and Nav, and as I'm working on these projects, it's not like it's tough. If I'm in a mental block,
Right.
it's like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this.
Right.
So if I'm just stuck here at the computer looking at this screen and that screen, it's like you're stuck. Okay, I'll go here and allow things to flow.
Right.
And then from there I get out. I'm like, all right, cool, I can go work. But I have to find a way to unblock whatever's going on. And this is one of the keys to do it for me.
Right. Right. Everybody has a. I do a lot of journaling. I like to be in nature. I'm sure you've seen my videos of all the insects that I've been
Mhm.
collecting over the last 10 years or so. But I love that. I love that. So I want to talk about, because I've seen in some of your videos, you talked about emotions and how we need to connect with those emotions and so forth. How do you do that through music? I know you say you go off, you wake up, you might have a dream and you come and do you write things down and kind of journal about it and then go,
Well, I keep many journals.
ooh,
I keep many journals.
yeah,
I just told a friend recently this morning I want to get back to waking up in the morning and writing down whatever I feel, whatever dreams I have, I want to write them down
right,
because it helps me navigate through life a bit different. Because I always say if I can remember a dream, there's a message there in some kind of way. I just have to kind of analyze and figure it out.
right,
But like channeling the emotions, sometimes it's tough because for a while I would try to kind of numb the emotions because they come so heavy at times from just understanding the things I understand in life and certain knowledge. It becomes heavy because the emotions will really weigh you down, and I have to find a way to pick myself up. And sometimes I have to like turn my mind off. Turning my mind off is here.
yeah,
Before it was going to go ride a bike.
right,
I don't have that option. Okay, what else do? You go play basketball. Okay, if I don't have that option, what do you go do? You work out. If I don't feel like doing that, what do you go do? So I have to channel my emotions somewhere. And if you listen to the music, you can hear it. You can feel it. I've listened to one track today. It's on iTunes. It's Vibes Tranquility. And I was listening to it and I was in tears at some part, just vibing to I'm like, yo, I really was going through a lot doing this. And
right,
I can feel it, but it's like tears of like sadness, but then it's like tears of like joy at the same time. Because it's like, hey, I really enjoyed this and I can feel and hear what I was going through during that time. Um Now at times I would and I do write things down. Like if I have again, initially the music was made for films. So I'll go write some narrations like the video in Chester right now called The List. I made that track first. And a week later I was like, I hit up my friend Ray. I was like, Ray, 2 in the morning. I was like, yo, I gotta do the video on The List. And I broke it down to him like completely. And I saw it vividly. And I like I'm telling you this because if I tell somebody that's close to me, that means I have to get it done because I believe you hold me to a high standard. And if that happens, then I have to get it done. So a week later, I went and wrote down everything. I wrote the whole narration for The List, and it just flowed emotionally with the story, and it just flowed with the music. So that's what I'm just learning how to find ways to just express. It's all expression.
yeah, yeah. So these dreams that you're having, are they every night? Because I wake up sometimes and have, it's like a calling pretty much. Is it every night that you have dreams or?
Well, the since I stopped smoking recently,
Yeah.
um, since I stopped smoking, I've been having vivid dreams every single night, and it's to the point where it feels like I'm having 10 to 15 dreams in one.
Wow.
And it got to a point where at the end of the dream, I'll go lay down. I was like, all right, we got enough done. I close my eyes in that dream, and then I wake up here. So it's like I'm living two different lives.
Right.
So it's like,
Right.
all right, if you're going through this, like, what does this mean? Figure this out. And I'm very analytical with analyzing my feelings, analyzing what I'm going through personally, and how I can take whatever I'm learning or experiencing those dreams and apply it to this reality. And sometimes those dreams aren't even for me. Sometimes I feel like a medium or medium, what I think they call it.
Right.
Sometimes they're for other people. And I'll go listen to intuition. And I'll go call those people immediately, like, hey, I got a message to tell you this. And then sometimes I know it may seem weird or crazy, but
Yeah.
it'll be at the exact time someone needs to hear it. And I'm
Yeah.
grateful for them opportunities.
That's beautiful. Yes. Now it does sound when people don't really understand the journey that we're on, they don't can't comprehend the dreams. But I've been in that situation where I hadn't seen a person for 15 years, and I had a dream. We were like driving up near Giorgio's Pizza, and we were in the car, and the person just broke down crying, like sobbing, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna reach out, and it just so happens that they were very upset because of a situation, and so it's good to follow um, that that little whisper in your ear. If it's a dream, or sometimes you might think about that person, to go ahead and do that. I want to expand on, you said that you had stopped smoking, which leads into your ebook that you've written, which is very awesome. I love this because the more we're transparent, especially men being transparent about their feelings, the more people we're going to heal,
Yeah.
because everyone is so tough. No one wants to talk about, you're a simp or you're this and that, if you don't, if you express your feelings too much. And so when I saw your book and I saw that you were doing videos and telling people, telling the world how you overcame this, tell us about your book, tell us about the journey with that as well.
Well, you know, the ebook came out because one day I just had enough. Like right before my kids were here during Christmas break, and I was like, you know what? You've been going through so much when you've been trying to cope for so long by just going outside, just smoking for so long, trying to numb your feelings.
Right.
And I said, we can't do this. We can't be running for this long. We've been running for a while, and you got to take some self accountability because as much as I feel like I can handle things and do things a certain way, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get affected by this. Like, it's cool. But
Right.
for me, like I said, if smoking for some people it actually helps. Like even right now, I'm going through pain here, but I can deal with it.
Right.
Like I can deal with it. I'm cool. But for a while, I used that as a crutch, and
Right.
because I used it as a crutch, it snuck up on me. Like, hey, you're losing your self discipline. If you're waking up every day, first thing you want to do is smoke.
Right.
You before you go eat, you want to go smoke. After you eat, you want to go smoke.
Right.
Um, before I go to sleep, want to go smoke. I was like, all right, there's a problem here that you've seen, but somehow you keep trying to put a blanket over what's really going on, and you're gonna lose everything until you get a grasp of this, until you hold yourself accountable. So once I started doing that, it was like, all right, you cutting yourself off cold turkey. This is what we're gonna do.
Ooh.
And first couple of days, I was like, yo, this is tough. I said in one of the videos, my daughter was like, "Your daddy, you're being mean today." And I was like, I really don't mean to. I'm just trying to better myself for everybody.
Right.
Um, One thing I realized, the culture I'm in, and I've just been around a lot of people. A lot of people don't even realize that they're treating this treating marijuana it's supposed to be used for medical use, but overly abusing it, you're going to lose a lot of things, and you're not realizing what it's doing to you.
Right.
And then I'm a very stubborn individual. And I said, maybe you went through this to help guide others through this situation.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to openly talk about this because a lot of people had no clue I smoke.
Right.
And
I did had no clue.
I hid it for so long. I was like, you know what? Let me be honest and just open because this also shows how courageous you can be. And also during this time before I get there, I've learned, I always thought that love was like the highest frequency
Right.
that the human body could like push out, and it wasn't. Authenticity is.
Wow.
And once I posted that, I just woke up one day. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And this was like my 14th day. Post
Right.
on Instagram. Hey, this is what I'm going through. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm seeing the feedback. I was like, so there are a lot of other people going through the same thing.
Right.
And I can feel it. You guys can feel me being real about this, especially because you guys didn't know.
Right.
So I said, you know what? Just go write an ebook about it and put it out there because it'll help others. It give people at least a blueprint on how to change, on how to
Right.
become a better individual for not just you, but for everybody around you.
Right.
So I went and stayed up one night, wrote it out, and was like, all right, we're just gonna do it. I haven't really promoted it like that. I gotta get working on that, but it's something I knew that I felt had to be done, and I was happy and grateful to do it because there are a lot of people that's going through this and have been trying and trying. I'm like, you know what? If I can do this, if I got the courage to talk about this, you can do it too, and make a difference for yourself and for your
Yeah.
family. So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We are, as a society, masking emotions at an alarming rate, whether it's marijuana, food, social media, trying to be things that we're not, buying expensive things. These are addictions that we don't even realize. I have gone to therapy and I didn't realize my addiction was uh, achieving things, constantly getting a degree, a certificate, or something. I always had to keep going. And my therapist, I sat down with her and she's like, this is what you're doing to mask the pain or any type of stress that you're going through. Or if you feel inadequate, you feel like you have to up the game a little bit. And so, the transparency that you have are going to help so many people. I believe it's going to help. And you don't even have to promote it. It's going to promote itself. The universe is going to land it in the right hands. I saw it at the right time,
thank you.
and I was just like, this is awesome to get out there for young people because you have a connection with all ages. My dog would be down here too.
He's just looking at me. I'm like, hey, what are you doing, my guy?
I know, right? I actually have a cat. We found a cat, and now I have a cat, a dog, a hermit crabs, and guinea pigs.
Dope. That's dope. That's dope.
But they're beautiful souls to have in the house too, because they help you with a lot, help you
Man,
with.
my homie is he's been therapeutic. Like he knows me probably more than anybody. This is
Right,
really a therapeutic dog. It's really
yeah,
my homie. I look at him as a friend.
right,
He's around all the time with me, and if I'm feeling down, he know.
right.
And it's just something that I take trips. He with me.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
people
guy.
don't understand the connection of animals. I had a pit bull, uh, 13 years, and he passed away. No, 11 years,
Mm.
and I still feel like he's floating around here, around the house. Actually, he sent me my dog that I have now. His name is Milo, and he looks just like my pit. My pit was 110 pounds, big dog, white patch. Well, my Chihuahua is this big,
Hey,
white patch.
you'll be surprised. It's different spirit animals that they'll switch bodies, and then you'll
Yeah,
realize you'll have an animal always next to you, and it's like literally your spirit guide, just help guide you through life. You
yeah,
may not realize it, but they are important. The animals can definitely sense the energy within you.
right.
To me, I really love animals, like
Yeah,
horses, cats. I love all animals. Just
yeah.
it's a certain energy with them, and I connect with them.
Yeah, even down to the smallest. I believe that. People laugh at me. My aunties call me Miss Dr. Doolittle because I'm because I had so many pets, and at one point we had or I forget they're roly poly bugs, but you can buy them in all different colors, and they were like living entity in this house here that we have. Oh, I want to see. Let's go to comments because they're just
Okay.
popping up here. Someone said, "Same. I have animals too."
Yeah.
Let's see. William Britt says, Izzy, you're always helped me see into my feelings. Aw, thanks, family.
Beautiful.
Waking up with a gung ho attitude. Love it. That's me. Let's go. That's Mr. William Bird of the Lovebirds. You both look like you're in an element right now. Yes.
Thank
He's my spirit friend. He just doesn't know it.
you. Good vibes.
Chuck says, same here. I love animals. Chuck loves, he has cats all over the place.
Ah,
Yeah, actually thinking about starting an organization, a nonprofit for the cats that he has. So I love this conversation. We're going to keep going. So as you're writing this ebook, you just decide to put it out and talk to everybody about it. And you said the reception of the book, as well as you coming out and telling everyone about your journey. How did you feel inside once you got the good reception uh,
You
back?
know, I felt honestly just a relief because it was something that was on my mind, and there's so many other things that I wanted to do and just somehow don't do them for many reasons.
Right,
And I said, this is something that I don't want to put in that category where this was an idea you had, you never fell through with it. So I said, once you put it out to the world, and you'll feel good about it. And I felt amazing. Like, you know what? I did something that if I want to see change in the world, I just move in the way that I best see fit to have solutions or help people the best way I can. And I felt like that was one thing that I did do in the world that I can genuinely help people.
yeah,
And I felt really good about it. And I had a lot of good conversation with people in the DMs, just talking about things like, hey, you can get through this too as well. Then I'm getting encouraged by a lot of people as well who stopped smoking for years or who are also on the same journey. And it's like a seed was planted. Now you see different flowers growing everywhere. People coming out of the blue just talking. I'm like, wow, okay,
right,
hey, it just creates a different type of connection with people
yeah,
because knowing that they are also going through the same thing and knowing, like I always say, we all connected in some type of way, but to actually experience that is a really good feeling.
yeah,
So I was excited. I'm excited about it. It was like
yeah,
one of the projects that was like, hey, you completed something about completing things is it brings a different type of joy within,
right,
you know.
right,
So
right.
there's many more books. There's so many different books, or if you see my notepad on my phone, there are so many notes, stories of from love, from um, toxicity, how to just navigate through life in a certain way to allow you to not get so frustrated, to not allow yourself to get bombarded or like overtaken with the emotions that hit you with the daily life, and just learn how to just appreciate the now
Yeah,
and just having a stoic mindset and just learn how to navigate differently. I've
right,
written so many things. It's just, all right, when are you going to put this out there?
right,
Either it's going to be in video or it's going to be in books. And I know my people, we don't like to read like that, but I figure the ebook, if you write an ebook, you can select everything and just let them play it for you.
right, right.
So I'm
Yeah,
finding different ways to help.
yeah. Do you ever look at I don't want to say the old you because I think it's all intertwined. You ever look at a picture of you like back in the day and be like, "Wow, I've come so far." And do you like can you believe you are where you are spiritually now? Or could you even imagine your old self being who you are now?
Ah, I tell you this, I've seen, I look at old pictures or hear some old stories of things I've done. I'm like, nah, that couldn't have been me.
Right.
I'm like, nah, I wouldn't dare say that now.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising. It's more so of like, okay, whatever you learned in this process, you can still relate to certain people going through those things because you've been there, you've done that. And instead of judging them, just observe and figure out how you can help them in the best way you know how, because practice empathy, put yourself in their shoes and realize like, hey, you was at that age when you didn't have the knowledge or understanding that you have now. How
Mm,
would have you responded to this situation? Or if you were going through this, what would you have wanted to hear during that time? Or you may not want to hear nothing. Sometimes you might just want to sit with somebody just to experience or help them in some kind of way. It's just, I look back at all those times and realize like these are all learning lessons that made you who you are today.
mm,
So that's something I would never turn away from. And it's never something I'm embarrassed of anything.
right.
It's just like, okay, this is all part of your story. But there are some chapters you have to go back and realize and like, all right, here's a learning lesson here. Here's what you need to experience. I needed to experience these things to help this group of people or help myself in a way to become this person.
Right.
So it is overwhelming at times. Like, wow, like this is how you handle things. And I always felt like I handle everything the best way I can, but you get to a space where you think you know a lot. And the bottom line, you don't know nothing. Like even now, I might look back at this 10 years from now. It's like, yo,
Right.
you were still learning so much. It's it's a never ending cycle of learning
Never
and
ending.
experiencing. So
Yeah, it is absolutely never ending. Every day since I've been on my journey, there's not a day that I don't wake up excited to learn something new, whether it's through a documentary, whether I'm reading it, whether I'm learning it from you or someone else. Every single day I wake up, I'm like a totally new person and trying to learn as much as I can as possible. And I do want to say this to my Feel Good Talk family and everybody that's out there that's listening, because I don't like to hear people say, well, oh, that person has changed. Oh, they think they this. No, life is a journey. You go from stage to stage. The stage that I'm in now, I've been in for maybe a year or so. Before that, I had many stages, and everybody's journey is different. I was this one day. Now, now I'm Izzy Meditates. I may wake up tomorrow and be something completely different. I just follow the path that's meant for me, and I just keep it moving. I don't worry, too much about what people say.
and that's a process itself because like my followers, I probably lost maybe 8,000 followers on this journey, maybe more. And some people, it affects them deeply. Like, all right, well, I'm losing people. They don't like what I'm posting. So okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're doing this for you.
Right,
And when you're moving authentically, God, universe, they will put the right people in your shoes that need to hear what you're doing to help guide them. And for the people that always unfollow or dislike what I'm doing, it's like, all right, well, maybe you weren't ready to receive what I have right now. And that's okay. I
right,
still send all these people love, but I have to get to a space where I have to give myself a chance to be me. Because to everything changes like through seasons.
right,
And if you close that door to not allow yourself to change and evolve, then you're blocking so many blessings or you're blocking doors of opportunity for you to evolve in ways that you never saw could happen.
right,
So I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to be me, whatever that may entitle of or entail. I'm going to be me regardless. And it's like, I'm still me, but this is just a part of me evolving. And at the
right,
end of the day, I always move with a genuine heart and authentic mindset. And I try to move righteous as possible just to not just set an example, but when I leave this earth, it's like, hey, you did the best you could.
right,
And whatever that whatever that is, it's like you left everything on the table and you always moved and wherever you step into a room, your energy affected people in a positive way. If you like I just like to be a certain energy that whatever you leave from me, you feel 100 times better no matter what that may be. Even if I'm not in the best space, I'm gonna make you feel a certain way or connect with you. Like, hey, this is for a reason. I'm gonna find the best way I can to motivate you or inspire you, or even that may not be the case all the time.
right.
Sometimes I just need to allow people to just express and just to be that ear for them to do that. So I'm just giving myself the opportunity to evolve into whoever I am meant here to be.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I want to go back to something you said earlier and how you're learning how to be in the present moment, because many of us don't know how to be in the present moment for the simple reason that we're a doing society, because we do all the time. You got to go, 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 do this, but we don't know how to be in the moment.
Mm.
And the best way that I can explain being in the moment is mindfulness eating. I teach people how to mindfully eat their food because we don't know how to. You get a cheesesteak hoagie, you scarfing it down. Well, one day I sat in my favorite Thai restaurant. I sat down and I took a bite and I let it just go in the inside of my mouth, move around a little bit, and I tasted every single bit, chewed it, closed my eyes, opened my eyes, down, and it was the best meal that I had. I had to taste it. So being in the moment, that's a good way to learn how to be in the moment. I mean, like, how many times have you been in a conversation with someone and like you like to give eye contact? You're looking at the person and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah,
That
yeah."
happens so often. I would check out. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check out because I know I give my energy and time to someone. If I know they're on the phone or just not paying attention, I'm like, all right, clearly you're not in the moment.
You gotta go.
And I've learned that's okay too because we are dealing with a lot of distractions in this lifetime. And these phones and dopamine is really tough. Even for me, sometimes it's really tough.
Right.
So again, I understand. Um, but being in that moment started from just meditating.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done it in a while. It's crazy. All my albums or EP covers, they all got me meditating. I
Mhm.
haven't meditated in a while because it felt
Yeah.
like last time I did it was like, all right, you have more to do here. You're trying
Yeah.
to get so spiritually connected, but you have more connection that you have to take the information you already have and just apply it now.
Right.
But one major key was just focusing on your breathing. I think I spoke to you about that before.
Right.
If going through different emotions or things are becoming very powerful, it's like this is a lot. For me, one of the keys to just relax, just to breathe, focus on what I can control, or
Right.
just breathing. So I'm like, okay, this allowed me to just be in that moment, bring myself back to gratitude. Like, okay, whatever's happening right now, this is what it is.
Right.
Let's breathe for a second. Just focus on the small things that I can control. And
Right.
as that happens, start to appreciate every small thing around you,
Every
and it
single.
changes your whole perspective of life. And it's like, okay, now I'm living in the now. It's
Right.
like, or that we are here. I'm not focusing on too much in the past. I'm not focusing on too much in the future. I'm literally here. And it's at the point like, all right, what can I do right now? Whatever I can do, let's do that today. I
Right.
try to live like that for the most part, but sometimes I get stuck in my own head.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
when I
does.
do, like I had a friend text me today, like, "Hey, you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm analyzing what's going on too much." And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let me analyze this for a second. But at some point, I know I have to get up and do something. And it's not like no pressure on me. It's like, all right, we know you have some obligations to do and take care of. We know you have this to do, but what can you do right now? And one of my friends, she had told me recently, like, you have to give yourself some grace. And I say it to everybody all the time, give yourself grace.
Right.
'Cause you are doing a lot. But I told her one day, like, I look at life sometimes. I go outside and like I look at all these mountains that I have to climb.
Right.
And the mountains, they can become very overwhelming. It's like, yo, I have to climb 6 of these mountains, 8 of these joints. It's tough. But it's
Right.
like, all right, you're gonna get definitely you're gonna overwhelm yourself if you keep looking at these mountains. Just put your head down and be grateful that you can take a step because some people cannot take a step towards their goals.
Right.
So focus on each step and be proud of every step you take and you celebrate those small wins. Because if I don't, then there's been times where I have so much on my plate where I have like 20 things on the to-do list. And if I get done like 15 of them, I didn't finish it. But
Right.
you just did 15 of them. Okay, clap
He's
for yourself
hot.
for that. It's I had to learn to not be so hard on myself and
Yeah.
just focus on small things. And this goes back to basketball. When I was in a teammate, is just we focus on play by play.
Right.
And in life, you focus on the moments, focus on the seconds, you focus on this, the
Right.
now. Because you look too far ahead, you're like, oh, it's not there yet. Like
Right.
you're putting too much weight on yourself, and you don't have to.
Right.
So things I'm learning,
Yeah. And the weight can make you not
celebrate
feel
yourself.
well. I mean, completely physically, mentally, change your sugar levels and everything else if you don't, take your time. But it's okay to be in that space sometime, like people, oh, well, you're a super mom and you do this and you do that. No, I get upset too. All the stuff that's going around now with the politics, I'm not very excited about. I grasp what I need to understand. I listen to it and then I let it go. That's the best way to deal with it. I'm gonna go back and see because I see all the comments coming up. Let's see. Charles Berkeley says it's not how many followers you have, it's what's in the followers. Absolutely.
That's deep. I like that. You put that
Yeah.
on the shirt.
Yeah, it's the truth. You'd be surprised. People will be like, the person that you least think is listening to your podcast or whatever is the person that will come up to you and be like, "Hey, I saw that," but they didn't like it or they didn't make a comment.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like, that's really the world we live in, and that's okay to me because
right,
sometimes people don't like. I have people message me all the time, and I won't see them in the likes or comments.
right.
In younger days, I may have felt some type of way about it, like, "Yo, comment that. You can't say it on some other thing."
Dude, don't you see
But
it?
also, I had to change my perspective a long time ago. That gives you another chance to be connected with that individual in a way that maybe they felt a certain way. Maybe they didn't have that confidence to comment that. It's not looking at things from my perspective, like, all right, this is what I wanted you to do.
Right,
Again, I've learned to practice empathy in so many ways. That's
right,
one of the cheat codes of life. And it allows me to connect with people on another level. If
right,
I could put myself in your shoes immediately and understand how you move, and I want to know and understand what to say to you, how to treat you. And it's always good intentions behind that. So if
right,
I'm in the DM with you, I'm always going to talk with you with good intentions
right,
to help you get through whatever you're going through without you even knowing. And at the
right,
same time, I'm going to speak in the I and I type vibe. Whatever I'm saying to you, I'm also saying to myself
right,
because I either been there or I'm also going through it right now.
right, right. And that's important to do that because you have to practice what you preach. When I went to meditation school, we were hands on and practicing. And so we have to have our personal practice. So while I'm teaching meditation, I also have to practice so many hours a day, and which has become a thing, morning, afternoon, or whenever I feel like overwhelmed. And that's important. And people can feel and see that. You can't fake that.
It's
You
been
can,
it's been like I say, real is real recognized real. That's that authenticity.
right,
It's not like I said before. Authenticity is 4 times stronger than love of a frequency put
wow,
out from a human.
right,
People can feel you if you being real or not.
right.
So I'm always going to be that, no matter what happened. Like I don't even know how to be fake. I don't know how. So when I step into rooms where I see people doing things that's not organic, I don't judge. One thing I said before, one of the highest forms of intelligence is to judge without emotion.
Right.
Said that on a CMP radio,
Yeah.
and I live by that right now. And I try to just put myself in that person's shoes. I don't want to judge. I just want to get an understanding so I know how to treat this conversation or treat this moment.
Yeah.
And once I do, it's like, okay, if you're moving that way, I get where it comes from. And that's
Right.
okay. And I
Right.
can either remove myself or I can either say what I need to say to help that situation.
Right. That's the best way. Let me. I like to see the comment before.
No, take
We
your
have
time.
a couple more comments. Okay, Fatima Witt says gratitude in the now moment is such a beautiful place to be. And thank you for tuning in, Fatima. Good to see you. I miss you, girl. It's hard to remember to give ourselves grace. It is. It's very hard.
Big
Uh,
facts.
Fatima West says celebrate yourself. Yes. She also says, allow people to be who they are. I also learned to accept people who and where they are mentally and emotionally without feeling some kind of way about how I thought or think they should respond to me or my post or
Mm.
whatever. Absolutely. There's a saying, oh my gosh, let me think of it. I can't think of it. I know it's along the lines, and I always say it all the time, but it's along the lines of saying that you have to meet people uh, where they are and in their reality. Because if you're too, like Karina and I, we are elevating and we connect on the same energy level, but not everybody can connect on this level. So if I go talking da 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 and all the stuff to them, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, what is this?" And they don't receive it, and then you're just so you can't really. You have to meet them at their level of perception according to their reality in life.
Some people don't even know how to do that because
Right,
they only see things from their perspective.
right.
When you can, again, practice empathy, learn how to take things from what you see, put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's so simple. If
Yeah,
you can do that, then you can understand life a bit different. You can affect a lot more people. This is why when I speak, if I'm speaking with bikes, if you take out the word bikes, you'll realize I'm speaking to the masses. I'm speaking to everybody.
Right.
Because what I'm saying goes, I'm getting chills thinking about it. When I'm speaking to all cultures, speaking to all people, all races, because I live by the basic fundamentals of life.
Yeah.
Saying I had to re-engineer myself,
Right.
re-engineer how I move, re-engineer my insides,
Right.
opposed to seeing life how I want it and wanting people to move how I want. That's not really how it is in real life. Because if everything happened the way that everybody wanted it to,
Right.
you wouldn't have these experiences in life. Like imagine if everything happened the way that you want it, you want it, you want it, you want it. How are we going to learn? How are we going to coexist? How how are we going to grow? How are we going to evolve as people? So you're going to go through different things and trials and tribulations in life, but you just have to have empathy with people to get an understanding and see people who they are for who they are and understand their perspective because what's common to you is not common to somebody else.
Right. Right.
But if you can turn off your ego
Yeah.
and understand that, and it's like, okay, it's like talking to children. You know, you can be 40 years old but not have a certain knowledge and understanding. Like, all right, you 40, you should know this one. You don't know what that person been through for them
Right.
to be where they at.
Right.
They could have been raised in a cave all their life and just came out yesterday. You
Right.
don't know, but you have to have a certain level of understanding to see that. And when you do, try your best not to judge
Yeah.
and help in the best way you can, if
Right.
you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go to commercial, I want to say I feel like our creator has put you in this space, in this perfectly divine space, by providing you with your platform from before. Because now that you have such a large platform, you can actually tell everyone your journey, how you got there, what you learned about your meditation, about your music. So I look at that. That's what's coming to my heart. I know it's because I know in a way you're like, oh well, I want to kind of get away from that, but you needed that at that time to be where you are now.
You
Yeah.
know, it's one of the things I had to learn to be okay with because my whole fan base is driven mostly with bikes,
Right.
and because I've my fan base is bikes, how I am now, no, they're not going to like a lot of things I'm doing because it's not what they want.
Right.
So I had to come into an understanding with myself, like, all right, if you're going to do this. This is what you want. I was about to start a whole new page.
Right. I know you were
Like
telling.
I have no problem. Like I have no. It's crazy. I don't like starting over,
Right.
but I have no problem starting over at the same time.
Right.
But I had to do things a certain way where, again, you have to be comfortable with who you are
Right.
and your real fan base. They're gonna appreciate you for you. And even when I post certain things now, it's like it doesn't get the same feel. Like I know how to post certain things and make my page go up
Right. Right.
quickly. I just don't move that way because I understand once you have a certain understanding with your platform and how your influence carries around the world. I choose not to move a certain way.
Right.
I don't want to move knowing that I have all this influence and I'm just posting to get likes, posting to get views. Like I'm not doing that.
Right.
I want to post what genuinely comes from here. At the same time, how this world operates, if you don't find a balance with that, then you'll get overlooked. Like right now, I feel like a lot of people that are genuine and have a lot of love in the world will get overlooked because they're not posting the negative things or not posting this because the world is fueled by a certain level of negativity or
Right.
certain things. When you're moving this way, it's a much difficult journey,
Right.
and that alone is tough.
Right.
But it's like whatever comes from this, I am happy. I don't care if I get one sell in the book. I don't care if I get one like. I'm gonna focus on those people
Right.
and whoever else sees it. If you heard this, your subconscious mind heard it, so it'll hit you eventually. The message has been received, has been planted. I'm cool with that.
Right.
If it gets 100 views, I'm cool. If it gets 1,000 views, I'm cool. If it get 1,000,000 views, I'm cool. Either way, I'm
Right.
gonna show gratitude
Yeah.
in all ways possible. because I just appreciate that I'm doing something that made me feel a certain way. And however somebody else is affected by it, I'm grateful and I'm able to connect with them. I'm happy about it.
Right. Right. And you can feel that energy in your post. We're gonna go to a commercial. We'll come back with more questions.
Okay. It's fit.
And that is the A game. It's a male supplement that's offered. Uh, we haven't done this in a long time. I have to tell you about it, Kareem.
I was like, we back already? I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get up.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you, don't get up. That commercial is so short. It's not like the Super Bowl.
Beyonce about it before.
Super, you can go cook a meal, come back, call your friends on the phone.
I'm like, oh, we back already. All right.
It's back. Do we have any more comments? I'd like to check out the comments before. Fatima West says, true, true. People on a different vibration. I adjust and realize that we are different, and that's okay. I don't push them to come where I am or make them feel bad or inferior to me. I respect their journey and where they are. Absolutely. When you do that, you show so much love. Yeah. I used to be in my ego when I was younger, and it was hard to understand why. And I don't get that. I think it says, "Oh, how beautiful it is to have set aside ego and to really enjoy love and people." Um, when it comes to ego, ego can ruin relationships. It can ruin your journey spiritually when you don't set it aside. And even when you see that you have an ego or things are handled on that type of level, it's good to go back and say, hey, my ego was in this. I had to go revisit.
Wow.
Let's talk about it if it's with the person and so forth. Robert Dickinson's in the house. Hi, Robert. Says, good
Peace and
evening.
love. Peace and love.
Feel
You,
good talk, family.
one thing about the ego, um, I used to always say, like, turn your ego off.
Right,
It's not needed. But I'm just like, at the same time, for me, my ego is needed sometimes for creativity wise.
right,
But I have to use it in a way like it's a balance, it's a yin and a yang. For me, the ego is there sometimes where it's like, all right, if certain things happen, I have to turn on the ego, like, all right, you can do better here. You
right,
know you can do better. It's more like a self thing opposed to
right,
letting it get too high where it becomes damaging to a relationship or damaging to a conversation.
right.
I've learned a sweet balance with it.
Yeah. Wow.
It's kind of tough to articulate. I never really spoke on it,
Yeah.
but there are times where, like, sometimes people will do certain things, and I'm like, why you ain't call me for that?
Right.
I'm like, say less. Now I'm going to create these different
Say
games
less.
in my mind, and I'm gonna just show you a different way.
Right.
But that side of the ego, I'm using that to fuel a different creative side.
Yeah.
That's part of the music too.
Right.
Some
Right.
people made music. I'm like, how would you disrespect me like that? They don't mean to. It just being them. But my ego side of me is like, what? I'm
Right.
not gonna say that publicly, but I was like, all right, say less. I'm gonna
Right.
be quiet. I'm just gonna let the music speak. And then when it speaks, I'm gonna come back to you. And
Yeah.
it's not of like throwing anything in anybody's face. It's like, hey, this is what I learned. And I'm still gonna give you pure love out of the conversation.
Right.
It's a
Oh,
certain balance with it. So I turn it off at most time it's off.
right.
There are times where it kicks in. You people will never know. But
Right.
a lot of my work has been created from
From that
from
space.
things that has been done subliminally. I'm like, all right, we're gonna create some stuff out of this.
Right. And that's a healthy balance type of ego. Yeah. So let me ask your thoughts on this because I always thought we're from the same city, Chester, Pennsylvania, and I always would say that we had to have a certain ego in order to survive in that particular environment. And so our parents, family, friends, whoever it was, had to toughen us up a little bit. So we naturally have that from our area. You know what I mean? And it's noticeable
Oh
because
yeah, Chester. Chester is a tough place where you have to have tough skin in Chester.
right.
And this is why I love this. I was just talking to Roland about this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roland. He has a great mind. And so I'm like, yo, we are rugged people, but this is what makes us. There's so much love in the city. Like, imagine I couldn't be this person growing up. I couldn't have be so loving. You would have got stomped on
Right.
because
Right.
it's like you didn't have that edge. And Chester, like, especially posting on Facebook in Chester or just doing anything, if the people would sense like any type of things that will not thrive in the city. If you have some type of cowardice in you or
Right.
anything, they're gonna pick you apart.
Right.
But this it's like you have to have tough skin
Right.
and this kind of mold you to be a better individual overall if you can manage it properly.
Right.
Because if you get to a certain space, you allow that ego to get to a certain spot. Now it's like, all right, you're getting too high.
Right.
You need to calm yourself down. Then people look at you differently.
Right.
You can't be too low because people are like, all right, you know, you don't have enough courage. It's a
Right.
certain balance that it's like basketball again. You have to stay poised.
Right.
It's a yin and a yang. Balance is one of the things that I've been really focusing on in life. Balance is key, but that balance comes with many ups and downs, and just learning to stay in the middle
Yeah.
is it's tough to navigate. But if you can manage that,
Right.
you can affect a lot of people in many ways
Right.
because it's your city. And
Right.
for me,
Right.
I've been through a lot, so I think in Chester, I know I'm able to. That's it's ego talking. When I say I know, it's needed. Like I know I'm able to influence many people because of what I've been through and how I can articulate certain things to help whatever way I can. It's like these situations has helped me guide people in a certain aspect, and
Right.
I'm learning to just fully accept that and not have you don't want to ever boast about it. I'm like, all right, this is me. I did this. I don't ever have to do that. It's just you can just be you and move a certain way where people can just feel that energy. They
Right.
can feel the power that you have. They
Yeah.
can feel the influence that you have without you saying a word.
Right.
It's just how you handle yourself. It's a balance, yin and a yang.
Right.
Chester does have a huge ego. Yep.
She said, I called into the radio station while in college and I answered a question, won money and a party at a club. I was cocky, arrogant. That was it. You sound like your
Ah, uh,
she said she replied she was from the east side.
but
That's
see, that's what makes us. So when I see people from the city, like anytime I go anywhere,
right.
I always tell anybody if I go out of town, people say I'm from Philly, I'm gonna correct you.
Right.
I feel like it's a crime if you from Chester, you say you're from Philly. That's like a unwritten crime in the city.
Right.
I've said that a
Yeah, 'cause
long time ago, and I'm firm on that.
I say that because I say I'm from Philly because people here when I say Chester, they're like, "Where is that?"
I'm like Chester is 20 minutes off of Philly. There
I
you
was
go. I'm from Chester, PA.
Chester, PA. I like
Two
Philly.
different places.
Yeah.
And I
So,
got I got mad love for Philly. A lot
yeah.
of people up there, but me, I'm purely from Chester, and I love Chester. When I come back in the city, I see the different neighborhoods, and I get upset with my people. It's like, how y'all mad at them? Like we all family here, but I have to understand that I have to see them where they are,
Right.
understand that perspective. I'm like, you know what? I get it.
Right.
All right, I just got to move a certain way and influence the best way I can with
Right.
my actions.
Right. She says exactly. It's true. It's true. Even down here, I've ran into people, and I'm so excited. I'm like, my peoples. As soon as somebody is from Philadelphia, Chester, Westchester, I get excited because I'm in Virginia, Central Virginia, in the middle of the country. And
Mm.
so when I see people, immediately they're like, "Oh, Chester," and I'm like, "No, no, No. No, Chester is an awesome place. I was born and raised in Chester. I received love. My family took care of me. Everything was great. I felt more lonely living in Virginia than I did in Pennsylvania because
Mm,
I could go down to the Don's hoagie shop or to Giorgio's Pizza or to a local store, talk to people, and we had roots and we had block parties and we played double dutch and football. And no, it wasn't perfect. We had a lot of stuff going on too. I eat my now laters and I have my little sunflower seeds
and
and my little drink. I was happy.
I, I'll tell you this: what Chester is becoming now.
Yeah,
I'm really grateful for people like Devin Walls,
right,
Roland, Kenny. People are doing a lot of great things. Even the people like the politicians, the artists. You have athletes. There's so much talent and great things in the city of Chester that gets overlooked. That's a big reason why I made the list video.
right,
I'm like, let me give you guys a perspective of who I am. Because I'm like I said, the first words was, I've always been a man in the shadows.
right.
I watched my city go through it all.
Yeah,
But I had to paint who I was, paint the picture of how what I've seen, how I experienced it, and then tell you guys like this is the beauty I see in this town.
right,
There's so much beauty, so much talent, but it gets overlooked because of what social media, what the media puts out there.
right,
It's the same thing with bike life.
right,
Bike life, the media be like, oh, these are bad people. That's because you don't know who they are. You
right,
don't even want to get a chance, give them a chance to even express to you who they are. But when you do, or when they do, you guys have people that switch the narrative. So it's the same thing with Chester. Chester has so much talent, so many good things that is happening right in front of our eyes. But we are conditioned to move into to just do things a certain way that we're missing it. It's so much violence in the city that has been stimulated from decades ago. And it's like at some point, when are we going to break the cycle? Some
right.
point something has to change. So again, use your influence in the best way you know how to make a difference.
Yeah,
And you have enough influence where you've been in all these places, you've been in these dark spots, you've been in these hoods, you've been in all these different rooms where you know how to speak to the masses, where people can look at you and hear what you say, like, oh, he's not trying to be better than oh, I'm just like you.
right,
I'm a regular human being. So it's
right,
part of me talking about the ebook, part of me talking about smoking because I have to be able to relate to you. This is a way for me to affect you in a way you're like, oh, I am you. I've
right,
been there. This
right,
is who I am. I'm not saying I'm the best man ever. I'm not saying I'm the high top guy. I'm human. These are the things I'm learning that can help you navigate through life. And these are the things I'm seeing that has to change. I can't tell anybody to do anything. I'm not going to force you to do anything. But I'm gonna point some things out that I see. And if you can
right,
understand this, you're gonna have no doubt in your mind that we have to do something.
right.
So I have to plant these seeds all over. And for these seeds to grow, it's going to take all of us to water these seeds, to nurture these seeds for Chester and the town to be where I'm not going to say where it needs to be, but I would love to see it grow in a certain way.
Yeah. Your seed planting began when you started recording Bike Life and you helped the people to see that it was not what they thought it was. Because we're in a totally different age bracket. And I was like, I gotta see this. I want to see this. Oh my gosh. And then I started meeting people and I know people. And so those boundaries we were merging together to see those people, going out and riding bikes and having fun. And there wasn't fighting like people would say. And they would possibly be peaceful if the police officers weren't chasing them halfway around and allow them to have their space to come together. But
Mm,
yeah, so
that's a
that
whole other topic.
planting.
I tell people like people can see me as peaceful as ever, but you guys have no clue how many chases I done been on. I done been in many chases where you feel like your life is on the line,
Right.
and
Oh,
I get frustrated. Like you guys are doing this, and
right,
at some point, I'm like you, I had to learn a while ago that they were doing that for certain reasons, and I'm like, now I understand this. I have to move a certain way.
right,
This is why I don't post the way I post anymore because I started seeing what they were doing. I'm like, you know what? You have a you've been glasses were put on you that you cannot take off.
right.
So it's like I have to move different, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So tell us about new projects, what we can see in the future. Oh, let me read this really quick. It says violence started with the city government in the 60s and 70s, created poverty, redlining factories, and amazing port city, etc. Keep planting seeds. Yes.
Thank you. Um, she's spot on. Um, some of the projects that I have coming out, I shot a series. It's crazy. The person that wrote it, she's from Chester.
Yeah.
They reached out to me, and the series is called Will and Nav. It's something that I just wanted to do at a time. It's crazy. I manifested that. I was in the truck one day. I was writing. I was like, all right, if I was to shoot a series to pitch it, this is what I would do. If this how much I would charge for it. Boom, boom, boom. That same day, I got a call. Hey,
Wow.
you need to do a series. I was like, okay. I literally just wrote this. But I'm working on that right now. It's been not a struggle, but
Yeah.
it's been something I'm really just been working on behind the scenes. I'm looking forward to that coming out. Um, Also for my own personal projects. Jeez, it's a lot. I know I'm doing a lot of music as well. Still doing a lot of. I'm having one should be up tomorrow. Um, on all platforms. Just type of Mr. Business music on iTunes. I usually go.
Okay.
All the music is just like vibes something, vibes 222, vibes tranquility, vibes no limits. It's just a vibe to me.
Right.
Um, the Chester Homecoming film.
It's coming out.
I put that out. It's actually on. I think it's in the link on my Instagram.
Okay.
But I'm still. I have 2 years from Chester Homecoming. I'm still editing certain parts, and I'm more than likely gonna throw that on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
If I throw it on Amazon Prime, I figured that if I can throw it on YouTube right now, and people will watch it. But I can take that same video, throw it on Amazon Prime because it has Amazon Prime on it.
Right. I know, right?
People look at it differently. So I'm like, you know what? I know how my city operates. I know how they move. Let me just throw it here on a bigger platform, and then they'll look at it a little bit different, and
Right.
it'll affect a lot more people as well.
Yeah.
So we have that. I am doing some things. I had a conversation with Roland yesterday from Duos. There are some major things that we're going to do for Chester, and a lot of this stimulated from the list video with artists.
Wow.
Um, there's a few artists there's one artist in particular that I used to hype man for years ago. Like before Mr. Business, well, I was Mr. Business then. When I graduated, I became Mr. Business that year, that my senior year I graduated. I was a hype man for this one artist, and we had a falling out a while ago. But we were young, and we bench squashed. Like whatever beef we had, we just been cool behind the scenes. He has actually been making music from my music lately, and it came back like it's crazy how it happened out of nowhere. And he's been doing a lot of different projects, like a lot, like taking my tracks and just making his own.
Right.
So we have something coming out very soon.
Ooh.
I'm not going to speak too much on it, but when you guys hear it, it's all positive.
Yeah.
It's a very good artist, and I'm looking forward to that because it meant a lot. I wasn't planning on being a producer for an album or anything, but as it happened, I'm like, this feels natural. This feels genuine.
Right.
So looking forward to that. There are, I don't know. I'm working on each day.
Mhm.
I want to just read out what's on my notepad on YouTube, just to help people because again, there's things I wrote that can really help society. So each day I want to just record one and then put it on YouTube. Like, hey, this is what you can learn from. The last one I put up was just talking about toxic people and how to navigate through that.
Yeah. I love
How to recognize toxic people, how to separate yourself, how to even help them and not judge them in a certain way because they're going through certain things that they may not know.
that.
That's just one out of many. There's some that I wrote about. Kenny. Kenny had put out this post a while ago. He was like, I don't think two damaged people should be together.
Right.
And I was like, I think that could work.
Right.
So I wrote a whole speech on two damaged people, how two damaged people could come together to find love and
Wow.
move a certain way. I wrote that a year and a half ago.
Right.
I've never spoke on it.
Right.
So there's so many different things I've seen from social media and I'll go write about it.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? Just go talk about this stuff. Go put it in books. Go just do something about it
Right.
and change the world the best way you see fit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we go, I'm gonna have you. There was something I want to see one comment Fatima put up. I wanted to say that. Um, I think that was her last comment. No, there's another comment. That one. Once awakened, you can no longer sleep. I had to say
Uh,
that. you
I
you
just
absolutely cannot. Once you once your eyes are open and you you just can't.
this
So
this the that's so frustrating. I just said this today. Like I said, once certain things happen, you can't go back. And then once you start going back, universe and God is like, yo, what are you doing? You know better.
be running around in circles like a
Now,
hamster.
now things are happening. Like this is why when people may do me wrong or something happen where I feel betrayed or certain things happen, me personally, I cannot go that route because I know once I do, either I'm going to be in jail or something's going to happen to me because the universe knows that I know better.
Right.
And it's like if you knew better, you do better.
Right.
I have a certain understanding where I cannot move a certain way. I cannot do certain things because once I do, that's when more things start to happen. That's another reason why I stopped smoking. It's
Right.
like, bro, you know better. And you're
Right.
still doing it. All right, we're gonna keep taking this away. We're gonna take that away. I'm like, why? But it's like I'm not even asking why no more. It's like, all right, well, how can we get through this?
Right.
What's the reason for this? So it's like until you start really accepting. I say this. I was in church. I don't know how many years ago. I've been stopped by about three pastors, three different pastors, randomly in a service.
Right.
Each pastor would come to me and talk to me like, "Yeah, you're protected in a certain way. You're gonna have to move a certain way." The
Right.
last pastor that said something to me, he was like, he just stopped in the middle of the service and said, "Stop being Noah." He was like, "You're running away from who you are. You're being stubborn." And I'm cutting in tears immediately because he started speaking in things that nobody would know, only me.
Right.
So I was like, "All right, how?" Man, that was like 4 years ago.
Wow.
So now I'm getting to the space. I'm like, all right, I really have to. I cannot keep running from who I am.
Right.
Now I have a huge responsibility. I don't know what contract I signed before I came here, but
Right.
it's like you have a huge responsibility, but you have to move a certain way to make the biggest impact that you can.
Right.
So again, what she said, once you have a certain awakening and understanding, you cannot do the same things.
Right.
So that statement alone is very powerful because I
Very
genuinely feel that. I'm shaking talking about it because I'm
right.
like, you have no clue.
The universe will bring you right back. Like
Every
your
time.
friend.
I said the
Your,
universe gonna teach you, they're gonna keep teaching you a lesson over and over and over
over
again
and
until you
over.
get it.
Just like your friend. Like you guys, were upset with each other. You come back full circle. You come back because y'all were meant to connect at that point, but you didn't. And then if you wouldn't have connected at this point, it would have come back again, and you will keep doing it over and over until your head has so many bumps
And
on it from bumping into the
I,
wall.
I'll leave it here too. There's been times where it'll get so heavy where I'm like, yo, I'm taking myself out. Like them like suicidal thoughts are real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I do that, I was gonna reincarnate here as somebody else, and I'm gonna go through the same thing.
Start
So it's
over.
like, all right, I can't do that either because it's like So all these things they're put on you for a reason, but you can handle it. It's just you have to have enough faith and courage in yourself.
Right.
What you doing, my guy? Look,
He's like, and oh, hi, puppers.
look, you have to have enough faith and courage in yourself to make those moves because you have everything you need, like
Right.
everything, and you just gotta have enough faith to do it. And I'm just at that space where it's like, yeah, I'm not running no more.
Right.
I'm not running. I'm just whatever is is put in front of me. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it with a joyful spirit.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
You know,
He's a cute little puppy.
he's like, I'm an old man. Yeah,
I
what you calling
know.
me a puppy for?
He's getting jealous.
All right, go ahead, go get down. Thank you, my guy.
I will keep you here forever. So before we leave out, what's on your heart today? And what would you like to leave with our community? Knowing that this is going to go beyond our community, beyond Chester, beyond Philly, beyond, what would you like?
Uh, it's crazy. The first thing that popped in my mind, I said this earlier in the conversation. If you do anything as well, practice empathy
Yeah,
because this world is going to a place where people are going through so much,
yeah,
and if you can put yourself in a person's shoes, you can help them in many ways. You can walk into a room, you can observe without emotion,
right,
practice empathy. You can see whatever that person needs in that moment because people are going through so much where they get in these dark moments where they don't have the strength to pull themselves up,
right,
and they can cover it very well. They can hide it very well. I'm speaking that because I hide emotions extremely well. I'm
yeah,
not afraid to voice my emotions either.
right,
But there are a lot of people that are not are I mean they not at the space of voicing what they truly feel.
yeah,
But sometimes if you can practice empathy, you can feel in your spirit, in your soul what they're going through. And you can allow whatever message flow through you, you can help those individuals out. And that may be through your own actions. If you have things you want to do in this world, do not feel like just feel that you can do it. You
right,
can move whatever way you want because everybody here has a huge purpose. Sometimes it's not about what somebody else thinks, what they feel, or if you don't think, are they not going to like this? Don't focus. Try not to focus on what other people
right,
want. Other people want to hear. Other people feel. You know in your soul what needs to be done. You're
right,
given a vision for a reason. You just have to walk in that vision with courage, with strength, and believe that it can be done. Because anything's possible. In my Kevin Garnett voice, I don't know anything possible. But that's what I would say. Just practice deep empathy to just feel and understand people much more than normal, and
yeah.
change the world the best way you can with your actions, with your influence.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing space with me again.
Quite welcome. I thank you for letting me come on. Anytime you want me on again, I'll be happy to come on.
I would love to. I would love to for us to vibe more. Before we go, I want to make sure that everybody knows your platform and where to follow you so they can see the videos that I've seen, so they can hear the music that I've heard. Where
Okay.
can people find?
All right. So you can type my name in on YouTube, Mr. Business, one word. There's no dots. One word, Mr. Business, MRBIZNESS. Go to YouTube, Instagram. If you want to see a lot of the bike vids, it's Mr. Business Bike Life. Um, Basically, those are my main two pages. TikTok, I think my page is Mr. Business Production for people who still have TikTok.
Right.
My TikTok page is more so me just speaking on just life, speaking on things that genuinely help people. Eventually, I will convert all those videos over to other platforms because I'm gonna start using them all.
Yeah.
You can type in any movies I've done. Type in Mr. Business Films or Mr. Business on Amazon Prime. Uh, yeah, I'm working on more, and as they come out, I'll be posting on my main pages. But it's a journey. I just thank you for whoever's following, whoever's listening, that I'm doing the best I can, and I'm enjoying the journey.
I love it. Guys, I'm going to put the link and everything inside this post. As soon as we shut everything down, you'll be able to just click on the link easily to all of his websites as far as Facebook and IG and TikTok.
Oh,
Um,
last thing,
yeah.
um, I've had a website with selling these hoodies, but
Ooh.
I'm working on like I'm always saying peace and love. By tonight, I'll have like peace and love merch on. It'll be in my link on all social platforms. Peace and love hoodies should be good quality shirts. Enjoy the vibes of it. Things that when you wear that you feel proud of. Because anytime you see this logo, I want people like, all right, I know what that logo stands for,
Right.
and I know what it means. I know who's behind it. And when you wear this, it's like you feel different, and people see it. I know that's a good guy. That's a
Right.
good brand. and I'm standing on it, especially peace and love. Like I feel like that's when I go to different cities. Peace and love is like a language breaker.
Right.
It breaks down barriers. I say peace and love in Spanish, like paz y amor, and they like they speak nicely. So peace and love to me, it stimulates from such a good place, and I wanted to have some merch on that. So that's coming
Ooh, I
very
love
soon.
that. I love you already. Now I'm gonna order one.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you.
Now we have to. You have to wear one, and I have to wear one, and we have to do a live meditation session.
Say less. Say less.
I love you guys, and thank you so much for coming on. And we shall connect again very soon. Don't forget, give me about 5 minutes or so. I have all this information inside of this actual post, and you can connect. I'll
Peace
see you
and
guys
love.